take a look at a simulation of a solution. In this case, we have a table salt, sodium chloride. This is water, H2O, and I'm going to shake in some table salt. The green circles are chloride ions and the red circles are sodium ions. And you can see that when the salt is placed in water, it dissolves. The ions separate. Let's look at a slightly soluble salt just for comparison. In this case, this salt is mercury 2 bromide, and you can see that a little bit of it will dissolve, but when we start putting more in, we reach a saturation very quickly and we end up with some of it settling out. So we just still have some ions in solution, but most of it settles out. So what we want to be able to do is think about what's happening when a solution is formed. For ionic compounds, it's very important to recognize that the ions themselves separate when a solution is formed. So we think about the ionic as, say, table salt, sodium chloride, salt would have been a crystal with a lot of ions surrounding the negative surrounding the positive and the positive surrounding the negative, etc. in the crystal. And when that is dropped into the solution, the sodium ion and the chloride ion separate, and that's how the salt dissolves. Covalent compounds, on the other hand, the molecules separate from one another when they form a homogeneous solution, or homogeneous mixture that we call a solution. For example, if we had water as our solvent, again, would disperse within and be surrounded by water molecules. Okay, but what we don't see is the C coming apart from the other C, or the H's coming off. In this case, the molecules separate. In certain cases, which we'll see in another video, for example, when we have acids or molecular bases, those compounds will ionize to a certain degree in water, but that's a different story for later. In general, unless it's an acid or a base, the covalent compounds, the molecules separate from each other, whereas the ionic compounds, the ions separate from each other, giving us solutions with very different characteristics.